Welcome back. I'm talking to Minister Robert Muhammad, who has a wealth of expertise in the area of urban planning, transportation. And during the break, we talked about kind of what went wrong. In 1978, there was a plan created that said something has to happen now in this area for traffic and energy conservation. And here we are 30 years later, and we still haven't quite gotten there. What's the thing that has to happen next? You mentioned be neighbors again, but how do you, if you're in one of the areas where they're talking about bringing a rail through, how should you, if you're going to be a responsible citizen, how should you think about, how should you react to the rail maybe coming in your area?
Well, first of all, I would be deeply concerned in some of the more destabilized neighborhoods or vulnerable neighborhoods in terms of gentrification. There is a nexus between public infrastructure policy and private investment. Okay. When the public infrastructure is going to put in, the private investment will follow it, or at the promise of private investment, public infrastructure will be put in. And oftentimes we find people who are the least, the last, and the locked out kind of get pushed out. We can't do that. We've got to remain neighbors, and we've got to find a way to create affordable housing that is both rental and for purchase, so that we can have a mixed income, mixed market neighborhood. This is the way to do it. It can be done, and everyone can make money, and everyone can be happy without changing the character of these particular neighborhoods.
I think that's something you mentioned is key, because when you travel to other metropolitan cities that have a mass transit system, it is more of mixed income, multi-use areas, so that it is not just in areas, as you mentioned, that may be destabilized, that are having to suffer. But, you know, if you go to Chicago, or when I lived in DC, you can get around no matter where you live, and there are people from all walks of life and parts of the economy who use mass transit because it's built to suit everybody.
Well, again, if we just think of a police officer, a school teacher, we think of workforce housing and how important it is to create these transportation nodes a quarter of a mile around our transit centers, so that it's not a condemnation zone, but an opportunity zone by which people can have these affordable housing where people can catch the rail, walk within the rail. Studies show that if within a quarter of a mile of a rail station, if you have your home and it's very walkable and it's pedestrian friendly, people will use it. They will walk to these stations.
So this issue is really, it's much bigger than just rail or bus routes.
That's correct. It is about the vitality and health of our city. We are not just a central business district city. We're polycentric. I think our medical center might be the 14th largest downtown if it was a downtown. Our Galleria is like the 9th largest. So what we have is we've got to
bring all those things
energy
together.
corridor, I-10, 290. We've got to bring it all together, not only for this city, but for this region.
All right, well, we are out of time. Good stuff. We'll definitely have you come back, because people care about transportation and they care about how they can get around. There's an interesting book that we're going to give you access to. If you go to click2houston.com and click on the hot button, you can log on to houstonfreeways.com and check it out. It has a lot of great information. That's going to do it for us today. We are out of time, but thank you so much for joining us. If you'd like to reach me and let me know about an issue you want us to check out here on Beyond the Headlines, you can email me at kdavis@click2houston.com. That's kdavis@click2houston.com. Thanks for joining us. Have a great week. I'll see you next Saturday on Beyond the Headlines.